Welcome to Lesson 2 of Dark Hole Elementary, Hardleg Gaming's beginner guide on how to play the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. I'm Hardleg Joe, and in this lesson I'll be talking about spell cards, trap cards, and how to play them. While monster cards are arguably the most important of the main three cards, they're also the most complicated, which is why I'm starting with spell traps. If you'd like to learn about monsters first, then feel free to skip ahead to Lesson 3, where I'll teach you how to read monster cards. But for now, spells, the green cards, are some of the simplest cards to understand. Most spell cards can only be activated on your turn. In order to play them, simply declare what spell you're playing, and then place the card from your hand into an open spell trap zone. After that, give your opponent a chance to respond, but assuming they don't, just follow the instructions written in the text box at the bottom of the card. For most spells, once you've applied the effect of the card, you just send it to the graveyard, although some cards remain on the field longer. There are 6 different kinds of spell cards, indicated by a small symbol, or lack of a symbol, next to the word spell card. Each of these spell cards has slightly different properties, but we won't get into them now. For more information on the types of spell cards, see Lesson 2A. For now though, we move on to traps. The pink cards work very similarly to spells, but with one fundamental difference. Unlike spells, you cannot play trap cards from your hand on your turn. Instead, they must first be set. To set a card means to play it face down. You cannot activate a card the same turn you set it, but you can activate it at nearly any point after that, including during your opponent's turn, during your next turn, or several turns later. Aside from the timing involved, traps work just like spells. First you declare what trap you're activating, and flip it face up. Then, give your opponent a chance to respond, and assuming they don't, follow the instructions written in the text box. After that, you'll most likely send the trap to the graveyard, although just like with spells, there are some exceptions. Also like spells, there are a few varieties of traps, indicated once more by the symbol next to the word trap card. If you'd like to learn more about the different kinds of traps, see Lesson 2B. For now, let's continue on. If you want, you can also set spells in your spell trap zone, as if they were traps. Although in most cases, doing so does not change the way the spell works. You can still only activate spells on your turn, even if you set them. In addition, be aware that once you set a spell or trap on the field, it stays there until activated or destroyed, so plan carefully. If you fill up your spell trap zones with set cards, you cannot play any more spell traps. All spell traps must be played in the field in an open zone in order to activate. That's it for this lesson of Dark Hole Elementary. Now that you understand the basics of spells and traps, you have a choice. If you'd like to learn more in-depth information on the different kinds of spells and traps, then check out Lessons 2A and 2B respectively. If you prefer to move on to monster cards, then skip ahead to Lesson 3, where I'll be talking about how to read them.